Hey guys, James West here. It's time for another book review. Today I am talking about The Metropolitans by Carol Goodman. This book actually takes place in New York City in the days following the attack on Pearl Harbor and follows four young individuals as they try and figure out a Nazi spy scheme. Now, one thing I do want to address right off the bat with this book is the fact that it combines Nazi spy schemes with Arthurian legend. And before anyone says anything, yes, I do realize that Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade did pretty much the exact same thing. They really pulled that off well. When I read the description in the book and basically saw Arthurian and Nazi on the same line, I would be lying if I did not hear at the back of my mind a voice just cringing and saying, "Oh, this could be bad." However, after reading it, I'm happy to say that voice was dead wrong. It actually does a really good job of balancing the Arthurian fantasy elements with like the early 1940s World War II era and just the whole Nazi scheme going on. Goodman really did a great job balancing everything, and I really have no complaints on how it was executed. Now, one thing I do have to give a lot of praise for with this book is just how well it talked about some of the heavier issues surrounding that period of history, namely the Holocaust and Japanese internment. In terms of the Japanese internment, this is actually where the book really shines for me. Simply because it actually talks about Japanese internment. If I sound a little happy saying that, it's simply because, seriously, name one book, strike that, name one work in all of media that actually talks about Japanese internment in World War II. I have never hear anyone talk about this outside of history class. And the fact that Carol Goodman not only talked about it in her book, but also how it affected the story, given that one of the main characters is Japanese, man, oh man, did you do a good job. Throughout the book, you see how that one main character, or A, has to deal with racism, and like she is Japanese. He's even before the Pearl Harbor attack, and after the attack happens, and she and her father are basically going to be accused of being spies and enemies. And of course, when the order for internment comes out, you really see how just everything affects her and how her world is basically just being turned upside down. And so, Carol Goodman, if you're watching this, I'm truly impressed by how well you were able to talk about that subject matter when frankly so many people don't even try to. Now, that bit of praise aside, there was one point in the book where I thought the story did falter a little. Namely, one scene towards the end of the book. Don't worry, no spoilers here. But in the scene, it just felt like it went full tilt fantasy for me. And I know that sounds like a really weird thing for me, of all people, to gripe about. But hear me out. This book, if I had to describe it, would be an urban fantasy. Like I said, this book takes place in New York City in the early World War II. In short, the time of wizards and dragons has long since ended. But there are still traces of magic in the story, in the world. And there are plenty of scenes of fantastic magic. But the thing about those scenes is just that the magic never really seems like it's overwhelming the story or overwhelming the setting. Now this particular scene towards the end, that feeling pretty much went out the window. It just felt like it literally, when it got to that point, I pretty much just stopped reading and went, wait, what? It just felt like a really hard turn, shift in tone. it's kind of like the one complaint I have about this book. Now, that one scene aside, I really love this book. So much so that I am giving it an easy 4-star rating. It is so much fun reading. And I'm definitely going to look up and see if this book has a sequel. Fingers crossed there is. But yeah, I really recommend this book. Well, if you're a fantasy fan or a history buff, this is probably a fun one for you to read. That's all for now, so until next time, this is James West, signing off.